All right, everybody. I am here with Alex Hernandez, current UFC lightweight fighter. How are you doing today?
Doing well, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for asking. Welcome to the Daily Dose MMA show. You're a busy guy, so we just got a few things to ask for you, and then we'll let you go. Um, Currently, are you in training camp right now? I know you have a fight scheduled October 2nd.
Yep. Yeah, in camp. It feels like we've just been in camp for, the better part of the year, just kind of getting teased with a few names and then opponents falling through for whatever reason. So uh, now it seems like we got something locked in, so I'm excited about that. 7 weeks, so we're definitely in the thick of camp.
How are you doing weight wise? Are you feeling good? Are you getting already cut down, or do you usually cut down in the last part of camp?
Yeah, no, weight's solid. I put on probably a natural 6 pounds just from maybe a year ago or so, just since I've been out in Colorado, and that's been pretty sweet. So I was kind of light, felt a little undersized at times. So just getting some I don't know, I guess just some extra mass goes a long way, especially at this weight. But uh, diet's kind of always on. Just try to avoid shit that just the whole grain brain's a real thing, and just general inflammation from eating shitty processed foods or bread sometimes for me, at least personally. And so I try to eat pretty clean all the time. My weight's pretty low right now because we just stepped up the cardio. So I'm good, man. I'm like 15 to 20 out. So under 20 is pretty solid.
I was just gonna ask you, is there anything when you're not in camp that you enjoy eating that you have to cut out while you're in camp?
I just get different cravings sometimes. And it could be anything, dude. It could be from you know, just tearing up the nut aisle in like a Whole Foods, and I just leave it like 8 pounds of chocolate covered in like nuts and trail mixes and shit. I don't know. That's just I don't know if that's a wrestling thing or where that came from, but and maybe just like a burger, just like a late night, maybe a little late night custard or something, just something. I'll just get these dirty itches sometimes, but normally that's kind of I don't know, end of the week, because again, I need time to shake that off because I'll just feel like fucking ass. I just feel like shit if I have to do something the next morning, like right after eating shitty. So I just gotta be cautious of that. I got time things well.
And speaking of that upcoming fight on October 2nd, it is against Leonardo Santos. Have you already started watching film and started prepping for him, or are you just kind of getting back in the flow of being in training camp?
Yeah, no, definitely watched him. Probably watch him again today. Coach has seen him, and so um, a lot of just what I've been working on in general and trying to improve upon kind of ties in with what I need to execute on Santos. So it's it's good. It plays into the necessary progression we need as just a professional and development. So I think it's yeah, I think it's a solid match.
And I was just going to ask, is there a game plan already set for what you want to go out there and do, or do you have an idea of what you kind of want to show the world?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm pulling the trigger on everything. I've got I've got an idea of what I want to do, and really I just want to make sure I'm as relentless and ruthless as possible. And so that's kind of just really what I've been trying to take my mind at regularly, and train with a certain level of intensity and keep a certain pace. So very much trying to break it. So
And I know
that's
you fought in 2021, but like you say, you feel like you've been in training camp for so long, just things falling through, things not happening. Is there any part of your game you've been working on while you've been training, or have you just kind of been staying well-rounded and trying to work on everything just a little bit piece by piece?
Yeah, definitely. There's always there's always the rounding, right? So just trying to always focus on a little bit of everything, but really making sure that I'm pulling the trigger on my takedown. Something I did more earlier on, and I've never really committed to the extent um, that I can on my just like wrestling blend. And so really working on that blend, you know, I'm not sure if I'm the best at anything, you know, striking, grappling, whatever, but I think it'd be the best at blending everything. 'Cause there's not really a whole, I feel like in my game, so I'm trying to improve everything. And then if I can be the smoothest at blending it and really starting to utilize my takedowns, that's something that we've been really working and the pace behind that also. So, just making guys work, you know, making guys work and break it up. And you gotta like train that. You gotta train that in your mind, you know, like just being doggy as can be, just being a fucking dog. And you just gotta make sure that's a habit every day. So that's a lot of what we've been doing.
And I was just going to ask you, you talked already and you touched upon this, that your cardio you feel like is a lot better. You feel like you're really good in the cardio section. If you are planning on doing a little wrestle heavy approach, can you just speak to the cardio sessions you've been doing? Have they been pretty ruthless training sessions?
Yeah, Vince Michelle actually gave me a new workout that I'm playing with now too. It's like one of my running days. It's like a 30 for 30. You put the treadmill up on super high incline. Like I start doing it on 20 right now, 20 incline, and probably work my way up to like 25, or I guess just wherever the machine maxes out at. Like 20 honestly. And you hit 30-second sprints, 30 seconds off, 30-second sprints. You do it for 30 minutes, and that was pretty brutal. You put it on a solid speed. I mean, we're at altitude playing between like 6.5 to 7.5 horsepower on that first one, and it was brutal. And just the nature of so I'm starting to play with some things like that. I mean, I do a lot of just like unorthodox weird shit too. Like I like lizard crawled for like 600 yards the other Sunday, just off shit to like develop muscles and strength differently and somewhat applicably. But yeah, man, it's just the general pace of practice is always high. We're always trying to push the pace of practice. We got a lot of competition in that room, so it's always good. It's always a little grimy.
And for you going into this fight, is there any part of you that, you know, wants that first round KO, or do you kind of want to show off your skills and what you've been training?
I mean, I've been training, like I said, like everything really. It's just like putting it all together and pacing it. And man, nobody loves the first round KO like I love the first round KO. You know, I fucking love me a first round KO. That's awesome. Yeah, I would definitely gun for that. If that happens for sure. I'm a happy guy. Finishes are great, man. I just want to make sure we get a finish, and the sooner it happens, the better. But no, you know, no rush.
And what are your training regimens looking like, you know, during training camp? Are you doing 2 days, 3 days sometimes?
Yeah, I kind of alternate between 3 and 2. So it's always 3, 2, 3, 2, and then it's like 3, 2, 3, 2, 2 on Friday, Saturday off, Sunday one conditioning type work. And you know the threes will vary from like hard, moderate to light, or hard, moderate, depending. But just trying to stay. There's just time in the day. It's really all putting my focus into now that I'm living here. So make sure that I just occupy that time doing shit. Recovery takes some time too. So lose at least a couple of times in the day. So I mean, it occupies itself. Staying in and out of the gym, you know, time flies.
And are you one of these guys that's watching the fights every weekend? And when you watch these fights, do you ever like see something that someone does and you just kind of think like, oh, I want to add that into my arsenal?
Yeah, you know, I am now. I used to be kind of a shitty fan. And there's always nasty lately, you know. There's always at least a few fights that are real impressive and something you can take from for sure. So I haven't integrated anything from a fight I've seen, but I've definitely been impressed, you know, and studied styles maybe a little bit more intelligently with a higher IQ than I used to. Also, just being here and with Mark Montoya, you really elevates your MMA IQ. So looking at the fights, kind of, but yeah, definitely.
And I was just gonna ask, when you're watching these fights, is there any nerves while you're watching it? Because as you know, it's intense in the octagon. And do you ever put yourself in some of these situations that these fighters are in?
No, I used to not be able to watch fights at night. Like I had to cut myself off because if I'd sit there, I'd start fucking around with fights and trying to study people or especially if I was going to watch like my own opponent or something, just any fights. I would start getting real anxious and then I'd be, too busy minded in bed trying to fall asleep and, just getting too anxious. So I was like, you got to have a curfew on viewing fights. And so that's why I started thinking like that. And then now I finally feel like I hit the point to where, I actually feel like a vet. So I can watch fights and I can watch fights whenever, and it doesn't really stick to me like that, like it used to. I don't feel nervous when I watch people fight. I'll tell you what though, thinking about being back in the big arenas, that does kind of give me like an extra little nerve chill, like got kind of used to the Apex. I think this next fight's going to be the Apex also. But seeing the arenas come back to life, I guess that does kind of give me like a little, I don't know, nervous feeling. But it's good, it's good nerves.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. Some fighters actually say that they preferred, no fans being in the octagon. Obviously, you love to have the fans there watching, and you love to have fans behind you. But it was really nice to be able to hear your corner and things like that. Is there any part of you that will kind of miss not having fans there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to get another Apex fight out because I like it. I love you go into like this big private room. Um, the whole facility is great. You go in, you warm up. You got your coaches there. You just go in. Now there's like a small crowd. You go in, you handle business, and then you bounce. And it's just like a nice, quaint little homely feel, dude. It's pretty cool. So I do really like the Apex, but I also just kind of want to pop off and do myself some justice in the arena so I can really get the clamor I want from the fans and also just get more notoriety going in there in those big arenas again. So I kind of like use that Apex idea as just kind of like being in the shadows there, going to work and building your resume. And you take it back out in front of the big lights, and some of those arenas that get filled out.
And obviously everybody has their walk song that they come out to and things like that. But when you're in the very back and you're getting mentally ready and things like that, what's the playlist looking like? Like, is there any artists you go to specifically to get you like hyped up or excited?
No, sometimes there's no music at all. A lot of times, half the time, there's probably no music because maybe I haven't really been listening to much music and there's not really anything that, scratches that itch. So I'm like, I don't feel like just hearing sound. Like I don't just want to hear shit. So it's got to definitely like hit me right. And then I'll go like phases. Like this last one, I couldn't really find. It's really nice to find some shit that like is really resonating with you at the time because it's just an extra edge. It's nice. Like this last time, I didn't I didn't have that at all. The time before that, against Grutzmacher, really had like kind of like an classic rock / like 50s to 80s, not 50s, 60s to 80s. Kind of this like just classic American playlist from like Fleetwood Mac, like Tom Petty and different artists like that. So that was kind of like sometimes I'll go in, other times it's kind of like, all right, maybe I want some rap, some hip hop. Maybe I want like some bass later on, it just depends. But normally, normally I'm not too on it. I've just kind of gone in and out of waves of it lately as far as just music.
And for you, you seem like you're a pretty laid back dude. You seem pretty mellow. Is it pretty hard to get into the mindset of, you being ready to fight? And what is that kind of like? Do you kind of just flip a switch in your head?
Yeah, like now I'm trying to make sure that I like get fired up the way that I need to, honestly, because like in the beginning I was just such a fucking like firecracker, like just a rocket. Like I just was ready to go, yoked out of my mind, ready just to fucking kill it. Now I don't feel the same I guess it's just not as shocking as it was. And so, I mean, it still is, but it's just not as much. It's just everything's more like palpable. I'm kind of more in the moment and present than just being like, uh, high on adrenaline, ready to go, So now it's kind of like finding the composure and then also the intensity at the same time. In a cool way, trying to prep it as well this last time because the fight before, I felt like I didn't feel anything. I was just like, I was almost too calm, too relaxed. Because of that, I didn't feel it in my bones either. Like I didn't feel explosive. I didn't feel powerful. So you got to make sure that you get the intensity up to a certain degree. And that's something I'll work on in practice to some degree every day, but especially whenever it's time for sparring, really getting myself in a mindset of, despite however you feel, we need to show up right now. So let's go ahead and get there. And that's what I'll do.
And when you're not in training camp and you have some time off to kind of be yourself, what are some things that you like to do on your free time?
Man, I just chill so fucking hard when I can. That's the thing. Like, I don't care about doing anything. I just want to chill with the homies, smoke and drink and hang out. That's what I would do if I wasn't doing anything. The problem is that I'm never doing that. I'll do it if I don't have a fight scheduled. And I don't foresee one for a couple months, then I'll have like a night a week. But usually it's just like just trying to stay busy the whole day, training, working, getting something done. And then in the evening, kick it back and blow my volcano and hanging out, watch some TV and passing out. That's a good ass day, I don't really care about doing shit otherwise. You spend so much energy all day long. It's like, yeah, we can go kayaking, I guess. Like, that's cool. Hikes. I mean, trail runs are fun, but I don't know. I just don't even put all your energy into something. You're just kind of ready to relax after,
And last follow-up question about this fight they have coming up October 2nd. What's your prediction going in?
I haven't even thought about it like that yet, really. I was just kind of, sorry, I had to murder this curve on the U-turn real quick, past my turn. I don't know. I've just been so concerned with making sure that I'm firing well enough to just be like extremely destructive for 3 rounds. And I could see things going my way in like 2 minutes, or I don't really see it going the distance. I think if I take him down, it'll be over if it looks anything like his last few fights on the ground. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be counter. It's probably going to be looking to counter-strike me, which is kind of the thing for like every Brazilian I fought. It's just kind of like sit back and just wait and just try to counter and kind of just get some pot shots and win the fight like that. So for me, it's just going to be really breaking him, just with the pace and the up down, making him work so that way. Either way, I'm in a dominant position. I think with that kind of pace and intention, there's no way it goes more than 2 rounds. So that was a really long way around that answer.
And for you, what's a perfect rest of 2021 going into 2022 looking like for you? Say you get the job done early and you're feeling healthy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I want to roll right back into another one. It's just, I keep having these aspirations of doing shit like that. And it doesn't seem like it's just an option. So I would like to, I'd like to roll in and get another one in November, December, but just history would show that's probably not going to happen. But, hopefully I can go get this done and then go take a short notice, or, well, I don't know, maybe get my manager to finesse Shelby somehow and, maybe he'll let me in one more time before the end. They were supposed to get 3 fights, right? So should be good. Should be able to get in.
right, man. Well, I do appreciate you coming onto the show. If there's anything else you'd like to say to the fans, man, the floor is yours.
No, man. Thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. You have a great rest of your day. And everybody, Alex Hernandez.
Appreciate you, dog.